What it do, Snackers, Snackettes, Snack X's? It's your boy Gage. I'm here with Sin and
Yes, sir.
Jokes and Frosty, and I'm pointing the right way.
Hey, you got it.
Domingo Fresh with the fresh AO shirt. You are now tuned in to Lois Stats Movie Club discussion of Belle. And at that, Sin, I turn it over to you, buddy.
Yeah, so like you said, we're here to discuss Belle, directed by Mamoru Hosoda. You may know him from Wolf Children, Summer Wars, Girl Who Left Through Time, and a bunch of others. Nominated a bunch of times for different projects that he's done. This film debuted at the Cannes Films Festival 2021 in July, and it actually received a 14-minute standing ovation once it was over. Um, we we got our hands on it in January 2022. It debuted for us. I was fortunate enough to see it in the theater, but I'll run down a quick synopsis of what the movie is about for people who might be watching. So Suzu is a shy high school student living in a rural village. For years, she has only been a shadow of herself, but when she enters You, a massive virtual world, she escapes into her online persona as Belle and becomes a globally beloved singer. So the first thing I want to, what do you say?
I said hi to Doctor Who.
Oh, okay, okay. Matter of fact, yeah, let me bring the chat up. Boom. And first thing I want to know is, of course, whether you all enjoyed the movie or not, but also if you watched it subbed or dubbed, like which version did you watch of it? And I will start with jokes.
Absolutely love this movie, and I watched it dubbed. I actually
Okay.
because I figured for the majority of like people outside of probably like you, me, and Frosty, I feel like they probably watched it dubbed. So I went ahead and just joined the train on that one for it.
Okay. What about you, Frosty?
I was the same, and I hadn't seen it at all. I didn't even know this existed, and I'm like sad about it because yeah, I absolutely loved this movie. So I'm super excited to talk about it tonight.
Okay. Gage, what about you?
Sub, bro.
Okay.
Subbed. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was cool. I won't go no further than that. It was cool, but I watched it sub. I thought about watching it dub.
Hmm.
I was like, nah. If I watch it dub, I might allow myself to pay attention to something else. Sub, I don't have a choice. I'm in here.
Got you. Got you.
Yeah.
Locked in. What about you, Doe?
I think probably sub. I guess subtitles. That's what that
Yeah.
means.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of left it like that because I figured if you actually recommended the movie, that's probably where you wanted us to watch it in the first place. So I left it like that. It was good. I did fall asleep on it, but I watched it a quarter of it, the last quarter of it. But I realized that was like one of the best parts. But I guess you'll talk about that.
Okay. As far as myself, I did go see this in the theater when it came out. I saw it subbed at the time. Uh, this time around, sitting and watch it, I watched it both. I watched it sub and
Mhm.
dub. I wanted to hear the differences between the actors and such.
I wish I
Yeah,
had done that.
Yeah.
yeah, I absolutely love the movie. That's one of the reasons why we couldn't do the other one I had recommended. So I said, you know what, let's do Belle, something brand new that I doubt a lot of people have seen. So yeah, I loved it. So first thing I want to get into with this movie, since this is the first animated film we have watched about doing movie club, is I want to get into the visuals. I want to know what you all thought of the 2D and the 3D artwork they were using throughout the movie, and also visually, what did you think of You, the virtual world that they built? Some of the things you liked or didn't like visually about it. So let's start with you, Frosty.
So I mean, the first scene that got me, and I think it was like the first scene in the movie, was when she's riding the whale. Like I was like, what is happening right now? Like, because I really had no idea what I was watching going into this. I didn't
Mhm.
read anything on it. I had no idea. And then they started explaining it, and I was like, is this real or is this the make believe? Like, but it was beautiful. Like, just that one scene, I was like, all right, I'm watching. Like, I'm definitely like, I'm all in. This is gorgeous. I'm not one who generally likes 3D animation. Like, it has to be a very specific film or like show for me to be okay with it. But
Mhm.
I thought this was, I mean, it didn't take me out of it at all. Like, I loved every second watching it. So and then I want to live there. Like I just want to go there. I want to know what my avatar looks like. Somebody make this real because I want my avatar.
Oh, that was Marcus, saying the visuals were amazing. Yeah. What about you, Domingo?
I liked it. The first part, mainly when they were walking and they had the scene behind them where the water and they were just always walking down that one kind of like bridge scene.
Mm-hmm.
It played a big part, especially where after the main part in the beginning, which was super sad. And the other thing was she was going back to the world, so that world was actually pretty dope. I did catch they had the iPhone on there, which was dope. I like that. So that little part. So that was cool for me. I liked it.
All right. Anything about you that you like visually that stood out to you?
Yeah, I mean the colors definitely, and then the fact that I mean of course she was a different person when in there, but this is the way it a lot of pink, a lot of purples, stuff like that. But it looked really, really nice. I like that. That was one of the main things on my TV that really stood out. I really like that part.
Okay. Jokes.
I'm gonna watch it once we're done. Like I want to watch it again.
I'm not mad at that.
Same here. But I absolutely love the way the movie looked. Kind of like what Frosty said. Normally, when like anime tries to go that 3D route, sometimes it either is just bad or it stands out so much that it takes away from what it is that you're actually watching. I would say with Belle, I thought they did a beautiful job at executing the 3D and not making you just feel like, oh man, it just made this ugly shift to 3D. I think it looked good. I thought looked absolutely amazing. I loved how like this, it was like almost like two cities, I guess you could say, like they were like stacked on top of each other.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. I guess in a virtual environment, up is down, down is up. Probably those lines of physics don't really exist type of thing in there. I just love kind of what Kay said, the colors, like the way that everything just popped from the screen. There's a scene at the end of the movie that looks absolutely amazing. It's mostly just lights that you see than anything else. It's just overall, it was just absolutely beautiful. And yes, I wish I could live there because that it just seems so much fun. Not having to be yourself.
Living in his castle. Like I'm like that castle is my
his own castle. Nobody else's castle.
Even the credits was dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Gage?
I mean, the look of this movie is it's stunning. Like it's just they put up a lot of effects in it that I feel like you can really only achieve when you have that combination of like 3D and 2D animation. I think that the animation itself is incredible, and everything kind of pops. Like the things that you should be paying attention to, the stuff that's like right front and center, in front of you, you're drawn directly to it, and then you have these backgrounds that look super realistic, like almost hyper realistic. And there's I went back and rewatched a couple of scenes specifically because, especially something like what Domingo was saying, like when you see her consistently walk past the water, right? Or at the end when they're all in that group together walking past the water and you see like the sun reflecting off the water behind them, it looks like a real lake. And for me, that seems like it's done purposefully, if for no other reason than to help push the difference between what is technically reality versus what is in you, in the virtual world, so that you get that very high difference. As far as you is concerned, I don't like the way you look. There's just something about the emptiness of the space. Like I get it. There's something about the emptiness of the space that's there. Like it just feels like you're there and there's nothing going on. There's just kind of people. Like there's just stuff kind of going past. It just reminded me a lot of like just like cars on a highway, like floating, just kind of going by, and nothing's really happening until something's happening. And the only thing that ever really happens is she sings songs, and then everybody kind of gathers, and now there's a space, and now there's something. So outside of the space that was his castle, which was amazing, the world itself of you, I was like, there's stuff back there, but I don't like, it's like you can't get to it. Like it's not.
So I think it's supposed to be like an MMO home city, and then there's like break off, which you don't ever get to see for
as much.
sure, other than his castle. But so I think they definitely could have expanded more on that. But I think if people like are familiar with MMOs and things like that, you have like this home city where everyone just kind of spawns in, and then you go off and do
your missions or whatever it is you're gonna do. Yeah, I just feel like you never really get. I don't think they did a great job of making you an actual setting. Like you never feel like you're somewhere when you're there. You know that they're not in the real world, right? But there's no actual destination there except for his castle, which again might have been one of those things they did on purpose to kind of put that focus on the castle, which again, the castle dope. But like the world itself, like I don't know, like in the background of it felt like, I don't know, browns and greens, and didn't pop the way the characters did. Like, everybody's individual like avatars pop for sure. But yeah, dog, like, like Frosty said, like if you open a joint and the first thing you do is bring in a whale with a bunch of speakers on his back, all right, what's popping? We having a whale concert? What we about to do? Why are there speakers all over this joint back? Doesn't matter. Sing that song. Sing that song. Yeah. So there are definitely parts of it that I was in, but let me hold on. Hey, bro. hey, Dark Ice Man, aka I want you to be aware that when you get to the show on time, we tell you what's happening.
Yeah.
Like, it's also it should be in the description. But I'm just saying, like, yeah, we're having a movie club discussion. We just happen to be live everywhere instead of just a movie club because let's reach more people.
Yes. So. I actually agree with all of you and what everybody had to say. Jokes knows and Gage knows very well I am not a fan of that CG in my anime whatsoever. It is getting better in pockets and spaces. It's coming along. This one, I actually really enjoyed the CG aspect of it, and I like the fact that the 2D artwork represented them being in the real world, and the CG was used for when they were in U. And I can agree with y'all. Off the beginning, visually, it pulled me in with her singing on the back of the whale with the speakers and everything, and seeing the uniqueness of everybody's different avatar. That made me just question the avatar system in itself. Like, okay, Belle got that, like Suzu got that, and I'm seeing other people like Peggy Sue has that, and just other cool looking ones.
Her friend is like this little fairy thing, and I'm like, how did you end up that way?
But it bases off your soul or something. I don't know. Some people got some.
I saw one that was just a hand. With eyes. I'm like, people have some very.
They like the Addams family. The Addams family's close to their soul, so.
But you know what, Sam? But here's the thing. They use CG animation when they're in the real world. Like it wasn't just it wasn't just Dark Iceman. They're available in the store, buddy. They're in the store, bro. You need your polo, bro. We got you. They like when you see her mother like run into the stream, like that stream, like that water. That's
yeah.
I'm saying, like, the world itself around him is.
Yeah, but you know what I mean when I say like I'm talking about the drastic difference between like how it looks in how all of it is CG when they're in and not necessarily when they're in the
just
real
those
world.
pockets, those areas, the environment. I guess
crossover, like when you see her real self and her avatar kind of cross over each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, I go get you one. Go copy you one, Ty.
Go up in there, bro. They in there.
No, but visually, yes, I loved it. Like I said, I've seen it 3 times. I see something different. There's so much going on every time I watch it. Like I said, his castle. I think the third time was the first time I noticed like just little glitches here and there, like around the lights and stuff like that. When they're walking around the castle, I'm like, oh, that's dope. You know, that's pretty cool. Whatever. I'm just always noticing new things when I see it another time. So I'm which I love the visuals 100% in this. So let's move on to the next thing I want to get in with y'all and discuss. For those who don't know, Belle is a modern reimagining of Beauty and the Beast. Mm-hmm. So I want to talk about the reimagination part of it. I want to know how y'all felt about the differences that this one takes as opposed to the original that we all know and grew up with Belle's character, with Beast's character, all that. So actually, Gates, I want to start with you. What did you think about this reimagination of Beauty and the Beast?
There are parts of it I like and parts of it I don't.
Okay.
And that's me trying to look at it with a lens of like, not trying to measure it by what I think Beauty and the Beast is supposed to be. Because even like what we know in terms of like the Disney version of Beauty and the Beast 2 or 3 times over, if you read the book, it's different. You know what I mean? Like it's not exactly the same. Look, I think in terms of trying to put a spin on something that is a classic, the way Beauty and the Beast is a classic, I think they do a good job. I don't think it's phenomenal. I don't think it's like, I wouldn't be like, oh, if you want to see a great Beauty and the Beast story, you should watch Belle. Like I wouldn't do that. That's not me saying I wouldn't recommend people watch Belle, but I wouldn't recommend it based on the premise of, oh, it's a Beauty and the Beast story. I would just be like, just watch it and let people figure it out. So they don't go in with any of that, with that notion.
That's how I experienced it the first time when I saw it in the theater. I didn't know what it was when I was going into it.
That's how I didn't know.
Movie. Yeah,
because they don't mention that like in the trailers. I know when you watch like they talk a little bit more about it, but then as I started watching it, it started forming. And I was like, wait, her name's Belle. I was like, is this the telling of Beauty and the Beast? And then certain things happen. You're like, this is exactly what this is.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think the thing that I dislike. It's rough to say. I think the thing that I dislike the most about it is I don't really like the design of Beast because I feel like it, for everything else they did to kind of separate it from what we know of Beauty and the Beast, I feel like the design of the Beast himself is too much like the versions of Beast we've already seen. I actually feel like I would have liked to have seen them take that to a different level or do something different with that design. I think, honestly, once you put the 2 and 2 together and you know that's what you're watching, you immediately know that's what you're watching because once you see Beast in the castle, it looks like Beast from Beauty and the Beast. And I feel like they might have missed the mark on that a little bit. I think I would have liked to have seen them make the Beast not look like a big wolf man thing.
Dragon is what they called him in the
But he was a wolf man.
He was a wolf.
He looked like
you could have made him a dragon. You know what? If you'd have made him a dragon,
that's something different. Yeah.
I honestly feel like that would have sold it way more for me, as a whole. But other than that, I think it's cool.
Okay, what about you, Doe?
I didn't really figure it out until like probably the part where they were dancing with each other, and then I said, "Oh yeah," just like you said, jokes, Belle. I said, "Okay, so this is Beauty and the Beast." I didn't think the Beast character looked like anything else. I think the parts where he was kind of like looking behind his shoulder, like from the back angle, I was like, okay, the dragon is what they was calling them, and I just kind of call him the dragon. He did look like a little wolf man with like a vampire suit on, but I didn't really catch it being Beauty and the Beast until they started holding hands and they started going in the air like that's this what this is, and I realized and I just forgot about it. Took it on his own and just like let it just be a different kind of movie and just go from there. So
Dr. Who said she ain't like it.
She liked the movie at all, or just the Beast?
No, she.
I didn't know
she didn't like it at all.
I still don't like it. So.
Okay. What about you, Frosty?
I literally had no idea that this was going to be a Beauty and the Beast movie. And Beauty and the Beast is my favorite Disney movie, like Disney princess movie. So it was definitely like once I realized what was happening, I was like, I don't know. And then I kept watching it and I enjoyed that it was a different take on it. They weren't feeding you the same like he's just a boy who made a wrong decision. Like, no, this is like a totally different backstory on the Beast, which made it its own kind of story. And I enjoyed that part about it. So it did take me a while to figure out that's what was happening. And I think the dance is actually the exact same time when I figured it out is they were dancing. I was like, wait a second, he's getting all like, they getting gussied up. Like, and there's a like the rose also. I was like, wait, are they doing the Beauty and the Beast rose thing?
Yeah.
What about you, Jokes?
I thoroughly enjoyed the telling of how they did Beauty and the Beast. Like I started picking up on it when the little avatars were telling her, you know, I only tell you come this way. And it was like, there was something about it that seemed familiar. And it wasn't until once I saw the Beast, immediately I was like, wait a minute, is this telling Beauty and the Beast? And then as they started talking and interacting with each other, it was that same get away from me, stay away. It was that same scenario. And that's why I was like, oh, this Joan is.
Oh, the scratched picture too.
Uh-huh. Because as soon as I saw that, I was like, okay, that's important. Initially it was like, that's important. I seen it, that's important. But it was those few instances that started putting the story together for it. But I liked how instead of it just being, you know, we were thinking that it was like who these different people could possibly be the Beast. I thought that was the one thing that I liked that was different. It wasn't just this one guy that we know is. We trying to figure out exactly who is the Beast, and there was some pretty strong arguments on which one of these characters could actually be Beast at one point. Once the guy showed up that had the tattoos, I was like, oh, it's him. Like, I was like, oh, that
blame, huh?
I was like, that's him.
They set you up and you walk right into it.
Right into it. That couldn't have been more wrong.
In my head, I was going, there's no freaking way that guy's the Beast. Like,
after a while, I immediately was like,
it was too early.
Yeah.
It was too early. Yeah. But I like what they did. It wasn't 100% the same story, but enough of those elements that once you get in and you notice it, you're like, oh, this is Beauty and the Beast. But you continuously watch it because you're thinking that you're probably going to have the same type of ending as Beauty and the Beast, but it ends up being a little bit of a different telling of what the normal story was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this retelling of Beauty and the Beast, something a little different. Like you said, with the whole thing with trying to figure out who Beast was. I enjoyed it. Did anybody figure out who the Beast was before the reveal?
No, I did not. Like when they got into the room and the little kid was in there, I was just like, "Oh, it's the kid."
Yeah, like as soon as Slim Father came in the room, I was like, "Oh,
yeah, I did the same
I knew." But before that, I was like, I didn't catch it. I know that there's subtle things that they do that if you're paying attention, you can pick up on the same things that she picked up on, like the song.
Yeah.
That's, you know what I'm saying, that's being played. Like there are very subtle things that, like, once you've seen it, when you see it again, it's there and it makes it more obvious. But which I love about stuff like I love stuff like that. But I definitely like up to that point.
I actually did call it when I saw it in the theater. I remember calling it when they first were when they were showing all of them, and when they showed the guy and his two kids on the screen talking, I was like, "Oh, that's him right there."
Oh, there was
like,
something.
It just reached out to me in that moment when I saw it. I was like,
he had on a black shirt.
No, it wasn't because of the black shirt. It was more so.
Yeah, but that's.
Yeah, it was mostly the two brothers, the little one and the older one. The son about them, like that's.
No, there was something immediately off. I will give you that. There was something immediately off.
I knew that something with the younger brother because of the way he was. Mm-hmm. You know, like you're saying, Jokes. Like something felt off with him, and I was like, he's got to be involved with this somehow. Like something.
No, but what did y'all think of the reveal of Beast? Like, I thought that was just that point of the movie was a high point for me, and probably my favorite of the movie. Just that whole the reveal to the closing song that she sung and all that stuff was, I thought, absolutely breathtaking. What do y'all think? What do y'all think about the social?
Answer the question. Did you cry?
Hell yeah,
my man.
Did y'all? Did anybody else shed a tear?
I didn't.
Absolutely.
I didn't.
I did.
Absolutely.
I didn't, but I wanted to. I wanted to, but I didn't.
Okay, don't
like
go ahead and say
a
nothing.
baby.
Yeah.
I didn't cry, but I know after I went to sleep and I said, "Hold up, this joint is gone off." So I went back and rewinded. When I woke up,
I guess we need to address that.
No, but no, it wasn't. It was I was just tired, but I watched most of it. But at one point, your eyes get heavy. Next thing you know, you do it again, and I woke up at the end. But when I rewinded back and watched the part, I guess the part when they were saying, "Look at the two buildings," and they said, "I seen these buildings before," and they went and tried to find them. I thought that was pretty cool that she traveled all that way to do that, though.
And that's what I said. Brought that up.
Doctor Who's gonna be like, no.
No, it was
no, yeah.
And was even I think the part that could have probably made me tear up if I would have cried was the fact that what, should I not say that?
No. I'm saying no. Mark is trying to act like he tough, like me, him, and Gabby didn't watch it together, and my man shed a tear. I'm just gonna put you out there. You shed a little tear.
See, man, my man just made a bold statement. We don't. Oh, you talking about? We don't do that.
All he had to do was own up to it.
I think. Yeah, the part that probably would have made me do is when she came back and like all her friends was there waiting for her. So I thought that was pretty cool. That would have been the only part that would have made me do it, and of course the picture at the end. So that was dope. So I mean, yeah, but it could have got me. But if I would have watched it consecutively and had to go back, but that would be the two parts that probably would have touched me most though.
Okay. In this reimagining, what did y'all think about using like the social media to just address trauma?
Oh yeah,
all that kind of stuff they were dealing with.
Yeah, really like that. That's all. That reminds me of Black Mirror when they did that thing about people getting raided and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. I mean, it's like I think that virtual world is like here. We're probably going to come to like where everybody wants to be a part of like any social media thing. It's going to be like that's where everybody wants to go to be their second generation of themselves or a different kind of thing. So having like being judged or being like that's like what it is right now. I just think that was to another extreme, but yeah, I mean it definitely fits today's society and definitely where it could go with how social media is right now, how so many people rely on it, whether it's work, play, or whatever. It's definitely could be a real thing. If not, it's real right now, just not to that extreme.
What about you, Frosty?
I don't know. I don't know.
Jokes?
No, I think Kay was spot on. Like I do think this is kind of representing things nowadays because like some people want to escape the real world, and social media and being online is kind of that place that a lot of people go to just not be themselves and to escape into and be that different persona. So I think what they did with the movie does reflect on a lot of how people act and reflect on the real world and trying to cope with certain things as they happen. So I do think it's a good representation of like today.
All right, James.
I mean, I think that there's obviously some reality, right, to the way that they're depicting social media and what social media is and or can be. I think the big difference here is that so like there's the concept that like social media allows you to like live a lie, right? You can make it seem like everything is great and make it seem like everything is okay, even if it really isn't. I don't think they really deal with the trauma part of it. Like your question is specifically about them using social media to like deal with the traumas. I don't feel like that's what they were doing, so to speak. The way that you is set up to work in this movie is that it like scans your body and like your biorhythms and puts the authentic you in this world. And so it's not supposed to be really like you're living a different you. It's supposed to be you. And I think that's the thing that is different from what, or at least the way that social media is outlined now, where people will tell you you can't really go by what you see on social media because it's not necessarily real, right? People post the things they want you to see or want you to hear.
Yep, just like the one lady in it, the older heavyset lady or whatever that had all the fake pictures and all that kind of stuff, just like
right.
her. Yeah.
That is more, I think, realistic as far as like what this kind of thing is. I honestly feel like this was a thing that is really supposed to actually help you. I don't think social media is really designed to help you. I think that you is more like a metaverse, right? Where it's not like Suzu couldn't sing, like ability wise.
Right.
She had a mental block that was keeping her from being able to sing in front of people. She's hiding under tables, or like she tries to sing, even when she's by herself, she throws up. It's not just like, oh, it's not about being in front of people. It's about the relationship that she had with her mother from years ago that has caused her to be kind of living in this pain in her real world, and you was an escape from that, but it allowed her to, but she's the one doing the singing. Right. So honestly, it's funny, but like watching it, what it honestly made me think of, especially when they did the reveal at the end and she showed herself, it reminded me of like watching The Voice. How like the difference between something like that and other shows where people come on and they sing and we can make you a star, whatever, is they have no idea what you look like before they turn around. They have to hear you and make a decision based on your talent for singing or whatever. Then they hit the button and then they turn around and they can see you, right? And so the reaction that people were having when when she revealed herself, and it was like, that's coming out of her, like she's the one who sounds like that. Like for some reason, it was much easier to believe that Belle sounded like that,
and she didn't.
But they talked so much trash about Belle when she first showed up.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. What she thinks she doing? Who she's supposed to be? You know what I mean? So and so is the pop star here. So I don't even think that's really super different from reality. That's like being a new kid at a new school.
You know, even at the end when she revealed herself, and them two little girls were saying like, "Ha ha," like she got revealed. That's what she get, yada yada yada.
Right.
And Peggy Sue is now looking at her like, really, like you don't.
I thought she was gonna deck both of them. I was waiting for a punch to the face to come.
But Peggy Sue was like, man, she just a regular girl like me.
Like I said that.
Yeah. And that's you know, to me, those kinds of things were much more important in this movie than the Beauty and the Beast piece of the story. If that,
I
agree. That stuff mattered way more to me than the reveal of Beast, as it were, or the allowing your child to go cross country to go see a man who beats you.
Oh, that's very anime. Like that's a thing.
It's cartoons, bro. Like it's animation. It's not like
I need you to go across the country to go stare at this dude real hard.
Hey, let me tell you,
it's a lot more over there too. I mean, not to that extent. Like, I'm sure they wouldn't be like, "Oh, you're gonna go confront a guy who beats his kids." Cool, but like, they do have.
You gotta hurry up and drive her to the train station.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one thing I would say I didn't like about the movie. I'm sitting looking at all of them like, why didn't at least one of y'all go with her out there?
With her,
like,
yeah.
I didn't understand. I feel like a group of them was gonna like go out there. Like, it seems like it was gonna be a rescue operation.
Yeah,
let's mob up. Here's it.
We're all watching the same thing on this monitor.
Rescue operation. Let's get in here. We gotta.
Yeah.
It was almost like, it's weird because they portrayed it like this is a thing she has to do on her own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Why? I'm pretty sure everyone watching this would understand her bringing somebody else with her.
No,
I'm gonna tell you what too. I'm gonna tell you what really burned me up though.
I think maybe the same thing.
Hey dog, I have never seen my man kung fu gripped her face so hard that he rubbed her to bleed,
He
bro.
rubbed her, like he
It
took a
wasn't a
whole chunk
scratch,
of
bro.
skin.
Like he like
Yeah.
Took a chunk of skin.
face palm, thumb skinned the nah
Man
Slim.
had that thumbnail. I don't know.
Somebody in
Nah,
these streets,
I
in
look-
these houses around here got to come outside.
Y'all
And
don't
that
hear
was
this
my-
dude yelling at him?
And that was my other thing that like just because they knew those two buildings were in the background, the sheer amount of area for you to go into and just
Yeah.
happenly get lucky that child came out and walked in. Belle,
Also,
Jokes.
how's that kid outside after receiving a substantial beating?
Hey, listen, let me just tell you
Both
that
of them.
Adrenaline.
for real, they ruined the end of this joint.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it a whole buck. They ruined the end of this joint because all of that was dumb. All of that was dumb.
everything
Like,
for me was flowing well until that
Yep.
that point.
Hey, look, Jokes, I was watching it earlier today. As soon as I got to that part again, I just sat there, was like, B is gonna hate this part so much. So much.
No, and for every good reason. Because I'm sorry, like, listen, they narrowed it down to a chunk of area, not like, oh, you're in this block on this street. Like, this is just one area that's behind these buildings.
hey,
And
dog,
it's in
listen,
between.
I'm
It's
supposed
in
to
between.
measure
her.
distance. They just took the picture and the buildings in the background, and they used their iPhones to measure from the window.
Hey,
to the
listen,
building.
hey, Domingo, your iPhone do that?
It can.
Nah, nah.
It can.
Don't
It can
do
measure.
that.
It can measure the distance. Like it may not be that far, but you can actually.
Hey, listen,
take it
this
and
is-
measure.
It wasn't even her that like recognized it and knew where it was, right? It was
Yeah.
the other dude
Somebody
was
else.
like, I recognize that.
Look at that.
I know what that is. That's the song between this city and this city. That's two different cities. Let's just buy a ticket, get on a train.
Hey, listen.
Watch.
I try to leave all that into like just the movie itself. Like I said,
Oh,
when
no.
I saw it and saw it that this is what we was gonna be watching, I said, okay, Sim must have picked this out. So I said, okay, let me just go ahead and sit there. And I told you recently what I just started watching. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna let everything just go and just be what it is and just accept it for what it was. But I mean, that was weird. I think the part I found weird outside of the other part y'all making up now was just the fact that this dude had did so much and she just looked at him. And I was like,
Oh, that
for real, bro? And that's
He
you got
was
power
shook.
just to look at him?
I
But I
still
was
don't know
like,
why he was so shook. Like,
yeah, I don't know. He fell on the ground.
This
I
little
think-
girl is
I
think-
judging
crawl
me
back.
I think he just all
so
came
hard.
crashing down on him like, hold up, I just got
Yeah.
out of the line. This girl came here, like, stuff is falling apart. He just probably started reeling back in and just would have had a
Hey,
breakdown.
Slim, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I
Hey.
thought Slim went in the house to go get the hammer. Like I thought he went in the house. I thought he was like, oh, for real? Or you just going, okay, I got something for you. Clearly, face palming your face isn't enough. Got something for you. I'm going in the house. Because it just, and then still them boys had to go in the house.
Mhm.
that's what. Okay, when she was heading back, I thought the two of them were like going to get off the train or something with them, and
I
maybe
did
they were
too.
going to go to the
I did
cops
too.
or something.
Give me some closure. Hey,
No.
them boys ain't safe.
They went right back in the house with him. I'm like, what?
Can I listen? This is the thing. I'm gonna tell you what I thought was gonna happen, and this is part of why I was disappointed with the way this with the way this went. What I thought was gonna happen was that she was gonna have a connection with the beast, with him, that
Okay.
was in some way based on the fact that both of them didn't have their mothers anymore.
Right.
Right.
Right? She doesn't have a relationship with her father. She don't even talk to Slim. So, like, when you say, "Oh, so our father's just letting us get on the train and just go do," he's letting her do whatever she want anyway. Slim wasn't
Right.
paying her no mind. Are you hungry? Nah.
Nah.
Okay, I'm
Let
out.
me get
Like,
some dinner.
you wasn't paying her no mind anyway. That whole relationship was already rocky.
Strange. Whatever.
But my expectation was that she was gonna get there and there was gonna be some sort of like, I understand, not necessarily like the you're getting beaten part or whatever, but like the I lost my mother too, or something like that kind of thing that was gonna like bring
Yeah.
them together or bridge something. And like, even if you're not gonna scoop these kids up and take them away or show the police coming and arresting the father or whatever. At least when y'all all get together to have a picnic by the lake and y'all just walking and singing songs, the kids can't come. We can't just go. Can we just go pick them up? They only a train ride away. We can't just go get them and just bring them. Like the
whole ending was. I love the story. All the way up until the like that whole sequence of leaving the school, 100%. The two cars, getting in the car, driving to the train station, the train going off, the text message to the father, like all that. Just
listen, like Dr. Who said. She said, like, I was really ready for him to mollywop that girl. I felt exactly the same way. I thought he was going to put hands on her and Beast was going to step up. Like, nah, we're not doing this no more. You know what I'm saying? Or something, or other people were going to show up or something. Like, nah, they really
still nobody around.
They let me down. They let me down. Like the ending of this joint, happy as it may be, unsold. Yeah. Unsold. Like completely.
I'll probably stop it. Like on my rewatch, I'll stop it before it gets there because then I'll be.
I mean, it looks pretty.
It's
you know
beautiful.
What I mean? The outside, the rain, very, very Studio Ghibli vibes.
That's That's how I felt like going into.
Grave of the Firefly vibe. Have you seen Grave of the Fireflies? Grave of the Firefly vibes.
There was some other like anime. I felt like they stole some stuff. I feel like the only person probably watching that would even be able to relate to this, Marcus. Literally the whole scene where she was getting ready to do the performance, and it pretty much she was like in the bubble, and they shut it down. The beast shows up, and then like the squad came in. Marcus, the original Digimon movie. I kid you not, they did the exact same thing, tit for tat. Inside that thing, and my man Justin, I can't believe my man's name was Justin, both English and Japanese. That was actually pretty funny. That showed up to save him, had the same lion blaster thing on his arm. It literally was yanked out of Digimon the movie completely. And I was just, I was like, okay, from the battle, the whole thing was straight Digimon the first movie. I was like, look, okay.
You know I'm picky about my fight scenes, bro. Animated or not. Them joints was weak in this joint. Slim was just throwing joints. I was like, come on, man. Land something solid. Let's do something here.
He was expecting
like mollywopping all. He was punishing.
Oh, he was.
But you never really see it.
You don't get to see that again. Like that.
Anytime they do that thing where
they cut away.
Well, that too. But like when like 50 people just like dog pile on them, and then they just like, wah! Hey, get out of here, beast. Get out of here, beast. Who taught you that? Where you get them skills from? What's happening here?
He seemed like a threat. They made him seem like a threat, and we should have been able to see said threat.
Look at this word. Hashtag. Straight up.
All right, so I do want to ask y'all about the music in the movie because this is heavily, music focused. So I want to know, what did y'all think about the soundtrack and Sousa, aka Belle's, like vocal performance and all that kind of stuff in it? Because the director did say when he was looking for somebody to play that role, he wanted somebody that can not only play both Suzu and Belle, but somebody that could emotionally bring out like the lyrics in the song. And I personally thought, I do want to say her name, Koho Nakamura did a phenomenal job at doing that. I want to know what y'all thought about, her performance and, like I said, the songs throughout the movie. So what about Music Man Doe? What about you?
Music Man.
I like the last song. That was probably the other piece that could probably make a dude tear up because it was just the way it was. Of it.
A Million Miles Away. That was the name of it.
Okay, yeah, that was nice. And the beginning, I think what she was trying to sing. But I mean, the story kind of took me off, especially, in the beginning when her mom passed, when she walked in and she said her. I was pretty much ready to turn it off after that. But that touched me off that end. But the music was good. I like the last song the best though. I love it.
It's all about music, beats, and beat downs. That's it right there.
All right. What about you, Joe?
So of course I watched it dubbed. So Kylie McNeil did the English voice that did the singing, and she absolutely killed it. From my understanding, she hadn't done anything prior to this. Like she wasn't like a voice actor for another anime. I think she had been doing some singing or whatnot ever, but they casted her into being, I don't want to say like from a nobody standpoint, but I think they wanted to cast someone that nobody was familiar with to bring in this absolutely amazing vocalist to be able to do both sides of it. And I thought she did an absolutely amazing job with the music that she sung in here.
Just so you know, also jokes, the same happened with the Japanese voice actor Kyle.
Same concept.
Yep, same idea. Like he didn't, not a big time actor or anything like that. And she came in, did the thing, and he was like, "Yep, it's you. You're the one."
Same thing on the English voice acting side. They nailed that.
Yeah. What about you, Frosty?
I agree 100%. Like when she first started talking, I was like, it seemed kind of off at first. Like, and I don't know if that's because I was watching it dubbed, but it didn't seem like, it seemed like novice almost. But like as the movie went on, it just like melted away kind of. And I don't know if that was her trying to portray the like very timid, like shy girl, or if it was just the fact that it was like her first time doing like something like that. And I know they don't usually film them in order, but at the beginning of the movie it just felt a little off. But as it went on, like I felt, and I'm obsessed with the music. Like I don't know why I haven't listened to it. It's purely laziness, I would imagine.
Oh, I've added it to my playlist.
Oh, it's on my playlist on my Spotify.
I have it in my.
Yeah, there's one song that I don't remember the words for it, but I remember the like beat and like how it's how she goes through the lyrics. I don't know, and I'm not gonna try and sound it out on my.
Well, what scene did it take place in the movie?
I think it's one of the ones where she's on the whale. I don't know if it's the first one.
That's You. If that's the one where she's on the whale, it's called You, the title of the virtual world.
Okay, I don't know because she's on it like twice.
Twice, yeah. So
so I wasn't sure if it was the first one or the last one that when she's on the whale. I can't remember. But
if it's the last one, that's the one. Like I told Domingo, A Million Miles Away.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Either way, I loved all the songs, but there's one that sticks out and I'll have to go through and listen, and I'll let you know. But
okay,
yeah.
What about you, Gage?
I ain't want no Blackpink. You know what I'm saying? But and look, I thought the music was cool. Again, I watched it subtitled, right? And so it's a little more difficult, I think, to get into, you know, the music and the lyrics of it when like really I'm listening to it and I'm listening to the melody and what's happening there, but I'm also reading it. But I know I like it because I could read the lyrics with the timing and follow the pacing, and I could. So I'm always like, I'm whenever someone is singing or doing music in another language, I'm listening for and I'm reading for whether or not what they're singing rhymes in the timing, right? So, and then I'm reading it in English and it also rhymes. And I could follow the cadences, and you have to do it somewhat outside of the way that they speak, obviously, because way more syllables.
Yeah.
A lot of times, but I could literally read the lyrics along with the tempo as well as like subtitles could follow, like being on screen. For the most part, though, like they would put the two stanzas up, so you would have like this line up to where it rhymes and the next line up to where it rhymes almost throughout the entire songs. And when you can do that, that's much more difficult to do. It partially made me wonder whether or not what I was reading was exactly the same as what she was saying.
Same.
But to write music that rhymes in Japanese in timing with the music and also rhymes in English.
That's a.
I was like, that's witchcraft. Like somebody's like that's witchcraft. I thought the music was cool. Like I wasn't like overwhelmed by it. I do love it. I think she had a beautiful voice. I will go back and listen to the English versions of them. But I thought the music was cool. I've always been kind of enthralled with like in anime, like when they sing, when like opening themes or closing themes or like something in the middle, like yeah, I dug it. I dug the music. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, I think him wanting to make sure that to have a actress who will be able to hit those emotional tones in those songs just right, compared with the visuals we were seeing at the time these songs were going on, I think was just a perfect marriage of the two. Like she really drove home like the feeling they were trying to give you on screen at the time, which I really appreciated. And since we have already talked about the stuff that we did not like in this movie, I want to know like what was your favorite part of the movie. So, Jokes, go ahead and start us off.
For me, I guess one of the funny moments was when Suzu she ran into, I forget the girl's name, at the train station, and it just so happened, I'm bad with their names. The one that was that created the own kayak club or whatever it was, and they were in the same room, and he kind of was like, "Oh, you support me? So does that mean you have a crush on me?" And like the two of them both like froze up. Suzu was cool, but then when they started talking about Belle, then it went from like the two of them being in like these frozen moments to her being like, "I gotta get out of here now." Like he dipped off twice, had to get her, but then she did the same thing. Like that was one of the moments that I thought was pretty cool at seeing like the characters and kind of like how I guess they interacted with each other for it. I don't know which way you want to say it, but I love that moment. It was just super funny. Outside of that, I enjoy just being in the world of You. Like I thought being in You was just an absolute amazing cool thing. Like, yeah, I kind of get what Gage was saying, you know, some of the area was empty. I really think that outside of Belle, this could honestly be like its own anime type thing that you could like jump into the world and learn a lot more about it. Maybe you go to a different person in the real world and, you know, have a different type of story that you can explain. But overall, like I just loved You.
Okay, Frosty, favorite part?
It has to be that opening scene in like on the whale. Like that sets the tone of it, and it just like shows the uniqueness and the beauty in the world that can be. So like it genuinely made me be like, oh yeah, I'm in for this. Like I'm watching it. And I can't wait to watch it again. So
Okay. Gage, what was your favorite part of the movie?
It would have been probably that first like major concert, like in the bubble. Like I just like the way that looked when everything would like shut down, close, open up.
Oh yeah, that was beautiful. Yeah,
but that joint got interrupted.
I'm mad we never got it.
It's my favorite moment in the movie is the reveal. It is her singing, going through those very light moments of like not even like literally hearing her voice crack, like she's breaking down, tearing up as she's singing, and having like people in the crowd like respond to it, like, oh, like she's hurt, like you know what I mean, like she's fluttering, like she doesn't have it all, but and then breaking down that look, like her literally saying like, expose me, you know what I mean, like showing he's like, what, nobody wants to be exposed, like expose me. The way that looked, when they kind of peeled away that look of Belle in that moment, and she revealed herself, and everybody got to see it, and you hear the reactions, both positive and negative, and then even those begin to kind of sway over all to the positive side. Yeah, I think that's the best moment in the movie.
As far as me, I completely agree, Gage. That was my absolute favorite part. The reveal all the way up to like the end of that last performance, for all the reasons you said, and also visually, it was my favorite part of the movie. Just those big.
Slim, the whale came back.
The whale came
yes,
back.
That
all we need is the whale.
Visually, yeah, that was
even before then. I like those big panels showing Belle and Suzu up there, and the lights are dim, but that one light's kind of on her. Yeah, like I thought that was so incredible and so beautiful. Yeah. So that plus all those reasons you said was absolutely my favorite point in the movie. What about you, Del?
I don't really want to be the third in there and say that, but I mean, again, that's the part that that got me the most was the end part when she was singing the last song and then the visuals that came up from there. I would say probably the ones that kind of made me sit up off the couch was when, she was getting trapped, or whatever. They like, where are you going? And then I guess the dragon just came out of nowhere, and it was like doing that little kind of fly through the thing. It made me, it kind of put me back in this thing of saying like when Neo saved Trinity, and that whole part. I know how I felt like when that happened in the theater. So that kind of gave me that kind of buzz with it. So that's one of the favorite parts of it. But really, it's the end. I ain't want to be the third person to say that.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. That attested the part. Like, so.
Yeah, how powerful that moment was. You know what I mean?
I mentioned those lights. I was talking in the beginning. The lights, like,
the music
was just when it was like coming from the heart of everybody. When everyone started to kind of sing along to the part of it, like that was, I thought for me was just amazing.
Okay, well, I know we all seem to have enjoyed the movie, but before we get out of here, let's get our grade, our score. So, Frosty, let's start with you. What are you giving this?
I'm definitely giving this like it has its faults at the end, so like A-, I guess.
Okay. All right. Doe, what about you? What grade are you giving it?
I'm gonna give it a 8.5.
Okay. Jokes?
8 out of 10. The ending messed it up. It would have been a solid 9 out of 10 for me, but the ending is what yanked it down.
All right, Gage, what about you?
7.
Okay, got a 7, and with myself, I'm giving this a 9. So pretty high ratings overall for this movie. I think we can wrap this up. What about you, Gage?
Man, if Joke thinks he can say the words to close the show.
I think I can say it. The one thing I know before we completely close it out. Hey, Sim, we talked about this in anime chat. I always like to listen to voice actors to see if I could figure out, certain people that were actually in it.
Mm-hmm.
One of the ladies that was part of the choir, I heard her voice. I could not place it, but I heard it somewhere before. I had to look it up. She did the dub for Rita Repulsa in the original Power Rangers.
Oh, which one?
The Mrs.
You talking about make my monster grow like that?
That's why I couldn't fully get it, because she wasn't using the raspy voice, but it sounded the same. What's her name? Atani or something like that. I can't think. Suzutani, Yoshitani. She was one of the older ladies with the short gray hair.
Okay.
And I couldn't place, so I had to look it up.
Marcus said solid C+. Okay.
It's a little bit better than that, but yeah.
Marcus is gonna do Marcus. He said that because I said 9.
You're right.
That's possible. Now that is possible.
You're right.
That might just be a jab directly at you.
Yeah.
Because it ain't in support of me. It ain't that.
Cool.
No, but yeah, that's Belle. Can you knock it out, Jokes?
I think I can do it. So I'm gonna close this out. So just remember, y'all, just because you have a well thought out idea, just because you have a well thought out plan doesn't make it a good idea. No, see, I know the word and I'm trying to get it to stay there for it, so I messed up. But I got it.
Oh man. Hey, look, just because you have a well thought out plan doesn't make it a great idea. With that, we're out.
Thanks for joining, everybody.
Bye.